Hello everyone. So congratulations, you have now completed the course Industrial Robotics, Theories for Implementation. I hope you have enjoyed the course so far, right? So you have seen quite a lot of stuffs that we have packed into this course to make it interesting as well. So yes, it did cover forward kinematics standard, that is a standard syllabus, statics, dynamics, controls, that will help you to do quite a lot of standard technical syllabus that is covered in this course. And apart from this classical approach of teaching robotics, we followed a little bit off from that. We covered some practical aspects of robotics, that is especially through mechatronics approach that we tried on, that is by teaching actuators, sensors, which is necessary to design and understand any industrial robot. So we attempted covering those aspects also in detail. Not only that, not only the theory, we also showed you some industrial input-output cards. Input-output cards, they are clubbed with the servo drives also, right? So that can, we have shown you integrating that to real actuators, stepper motors, servo motors, right? And DC motors especially. So you saw how those things work in detail. You saw our labs also, where we have demonstrated them thoroughly. And I try doing that if at all you have facilities in your lab. Even if you don't have, you can start understanding the concept by picking up off-the-shelf motor like these, especially stepper motors. They are very inexpensive nowadays. They are available on various online robotic shops, right? So that is what was our objective. We covered that in practical also, apart from just teaching the theory. And you learned the use of industrial robot right from installing, right? You saw how industrial robot, what are technical specification that goes in ordering a new robot and putting that robot to use through programming. Right from installation, we have shown you how a standard industrial robot, we picked up a small robot that is there in our lab also, that is Yasukawa GP12 robot. We saw, I showed you how it is installed through a demo video with the different foundation being made and how it is grouted to the ground, right? How grippers are attached, how joints are activated, controllers are fitted, right? So you saw all of them. So you learned a lot about robot safeties, norms that governs before it is put to any industrial use, right? Mathematical aspects, definitely it was covered. That is through calibration. You saw a lot of things in calibration. Those are not covered in industrial robot syllabus in any of the curriculum. But yes, we have included them for industry people or for the students who will be going right to the industry after this course. So it will be quite helpful for them to just, not just to use teach pendant the way it is. It is always better to understand the background of the thing, right? So for that reason, we have covered calibrating a turntable, linear rail, tool center point calibration, work surface calibration, load, etc. Each of them were covered very much in detail in one of the modules, right? This was unique takeaway of this course, which is hardly covered in a textbook or a, but it is widely used in industrial applications. You know that? Okay, so I have shared resources. That is what I wanted to tell you. I have shared resources, data sheets and all. Those are also available on industry websites. From there, you can download them directly. I shared some of the source codes that you can run, you can see, you can modify them and test your own things that you want to do, right? Technical manuals, they also can be downloaded from internet. However, I have shared a few of them. Right? Data sheets are of real industrial robots that are used in the industry. Exactly those data sheets I have shared with you and I have discussed using them, right? Try to go through that. and have a real feel of a real industrial robot, right? So that is what I would suggest. I would also suggest you all the UG students to focus on real robots rather than focusing on these days. I have seen in different industrial robot competitions, students are very happy doing robo wars or maybe push pull robot or different types of robotics events. They hardly will teach you professional robotics, which is already there in the industry since long time now. And you as a learner of robotics, those things should end away with along with your school, right? So when you come to UG, you should graduate with these things, right? So that is the reason probably I have covered this. Taking that in mind, I have covered all these, right? So stay away from amateur robotics, use of low-powered hobby electronics kits to feed your robotics passion. Try to use more professional tools, actuators, sensors, hardwares to build your robot, and try to build it like a product. I always tell my students, make UG, PG projects look like a product. They should not look like a with jigs and fixers and those wires hanging around, and sometimes it works, sometimes it doesn't, right? And jumper wires and all, they are deadly things to put in your projects, right? Even if it is a simple wire or jumper that you are going to use, try to make one of your own. Nowadays there are crimping tools, there are lugs which are available on robotics websites, sometimes on different commercial websites also, popular commercial websites also. So you can directly buy from them, make your own jumper wire, use your own terminal boxes, and make it all professional. It should fall and it should not fail. Right. So that is the objective. For researchers, I tell you, UG, PG students especially, the message remains the same. You also have to do exactly the same thing. But I have discussed alternatives to industrial robot programming. Apart from standard programming that we do through teach pendant, through taking a robot to a place, teaching it, repeating the things, right? So I have also taught you how to alternatives to industrial robot programming that can help you to integrate your robot through a standard PC, right? So now you can communicate with your robot the way you normally do with any simulation environment, right? So with that, you can communicate with your robot and implement advanced robotics concepts through standard industrial robot, right? That is a very, very important thing that you should take away with this course. Right, and for learners from industry who are already using industrial robot, I hope you have now learned the secrets of your robot controller, your teach pendant, what you have been seeing since long time. I have covered all those aspects which are there in your teach pendant as a facility. You now know how it actually works, right? So using mathematical background for calibration, that was covered in this course, and you can now think of applying any robot and even more to do even more complex tasks that is offered by robot manufacturer through its standard programming interface, right? You can now do even more complex things, right? So that is the beauty of having such things learned through this course. Okay, so for the end of exam, before going to that, let me just share your syllabus that is there with me now. Just a sec. So this is your syllabus. I'll share my screen now. So this was our course. This is how it was intended to be made, right? So this is me, and this was our course plan. I see each and every stuff is covered in very much in detail. As much as I can, I did it. But still, if there are few things, if it is left, definitely we are sorry for that. But I don't think it is there. So hopefully it is covered very much in detail with the exact hours that was committed at the beginning of the course. So for your exam, your course plan, just follow all these. You have appeared for assignments, I have seen, but those assignments were very much related directly to the videos that was covered in that particular module, that particular week. Okay, but for the end exam, I would stick mostly to the standard curriculum. So I won't say you skip anything, but yes, standard stuff should be covered well. This module in particular, calibration of industrial robot, I won't go very much in detail because this is the first time when you are facing this syllabus and it is not covered anywhere else in the internet. That is the reason it is not covered. It is covered in the text in the course, but definitely it won't be there much in your end exam. So you can skip quite a lot of a heavy portion of this. Right. Similarly, you can see this. Okay, so this was covered very much in detail in the course, but in the end exam, I have covered it lightly. Okay, so module 10 and again module 12. A little bit of this is there in the exam. So with this, I think you got to know what exactly will be there in the end exam. So don't worry about the end exam. End exam is much more simpler than your assignments. I tell you that very openly here. So because end exam is to test overall performance of your learning. Okay, so that is the reason, and you have a wide syllabus to cover here of 12-week course. So that is the reason end exam is simple. But yes, assignments were not that simple, I understand. But yes, that you can do reattempt multiple number of times. You can improve upon your assignment score. So those things are always there. So yes, that is what is there from my side. And I think I would appreciate if you could express your perspective in the feedback. I would expect that. So your valuable suggestions should be there so that we can improve upon that. Okay, so I would thank you everyone for joining this course, making this course so popular at the first instance only. This is the first time this course is launched, but still I saw thousands of you joining there, and quite a lot of you have appeared for the end exam also. So that makes this course really very interesting, and I appreciate your efforts by which you have covered the syllabus, you have covered to the point here, right? So that is the reason this course was there, and I hope with this you make this course even more popular by performing well, right? So that is what I expect. Let me just see if any one of you have any query online. Syllabus you have covered to the point here, right? So So I don't see much query over there. Okay, so I just see Saurabh has posted robot programming is not covered elaborately, elaborate if possible, and add in detail. Yes, robot programming, the way it is there in the industry without having a context to that, without having a real teach pen and it was very difficult to cover. And the way it is covered since long time in the test books, actual robot programming is much different today. I tell you, so that is the reason, and it is very much proprietary specific. Manufacturers have their own implementation in the programming style, and the way it is there in the actual robot, it is really very difficult to cover here. But yes, I'll try in the next rerun of this course, definitely if possible, I'll try to implement them. Okay, you can, yes, you can follow the manuals which are there downloadable from specific manufacturer's website, and you can follow robot programming specific to any make. Okay, so that is the reason it was not covered. It was covered just the way it is there in your test book. Okay, so few things I have shown. I have shown you the teach pendant. I have shown you how things are integrated, but is specifically covered with make very much of the course. That is the reason it is not there. Okay, and yes, Saurabh, robot programming, yes, as I told you just now, there are no book as such which is there for robot programming specifically. So nowadays, industrial robots can be integrated through the APIs they support. So you can take up that API and you can integrate your robot with a PC, and standard programming language can be used to program your robot as well. So that is also a practice one can do, but that is not suggested for industry. Okay, so you should not do that quite frequently. At least in the industry, it is not a practice there. Maybe in the research stage, it can be done. For implementing, you have to go through standard way of programming. Okay, that is through teach pendant. And you can download those programming manual for a specific robot. It is there online. Just Google around, you will find out. You can download those manuals. You can see how it is done. It is quite different from the way it was there since 10 years before also. Okay, so that is what, yes, so that is on robotic programming, I should say. AI in agriculture, AI in transforming agriculture, how robotics is shaping India's future. Yes, I cannot comment on that, how it is shaping. Yes, definitely that is nowadays, I have seen few videos where fruit plucking is there using industrial robot. It is there with IIT KGP also. Projects are running. Few videos are there from India also, I have seen, where they have used industrial robot to pluck. So what they do, they have scanned the apple garden. Okay, then they have just seen they can just see using cameras, they can identify the ripening of fruit, and they use standard robot tools to plug them and collect it. So that is where I have seen definitely drones are there for spraying insecticides and all, and moving robots on the floor is also there, right? So those robots are there to inspect, to do fruit plucking and all. So that is there in the industry. But as far as our robotic syllabus was concerned, it was mostly on a fixed installation robot. So yes, fruit plucking robot on a vehicle I have seen, yes, that is there. Okay. Career options in domain of robotics, and there are definitely many. I tell you, robotics is still, even after 50, 60 years of its inception, I have seen many industry, sometimes in the academic institution, I find is still vacant. There are lack of teachers. Even few IITs, they don't have teachers, dedicated teachers who have done right from the BTech level, they have done robotics. Yes, there are teachers, definitely. But yes, dedicated teachers who dedicatedly teach robotics is still very few, even in IIT. Forget about NITs and sometimes in good private or institutes also. So that is the scope. You see, you have teaching opportunities, you have research opportunities. India is outsourcing robots since long time. So you see, even if you are a freelancer, you can think of your future. Means people are earning in crores, right? Just by giving consultancy, I have seen, even in India, I tell you. Right. So that is what is the beauty of having things like robotics, right? So you see, you have plenty of opportunity. Industry people, they can import robot, but how to have people who are learned in robotics and provide services in the industry. Even manufacturers are on it, right? So they are seeking people in India who can provide services, right? So without this in-depth knowledge, I feel it is very, very difficult to have people in India. So that is the reason it has huge career opportunities. They are highly paying job in India. Now India is coming up like anything. You all know that now. So we are one of the biggest implementers of robotic services where we are taking, right? So if you see IFR report, right, so you will find where India is. It is coming up like anything, you know that. So startups are coming, so you can think of startups also. So provided these knowledge is there with you, you can be an asset to the country, asset for your institute, asset for your industry, right? So that is the reason this course is there to this extent. So that is where we are, right? So that is the reason I tell you since the beginning, go very, very practical. I have tried my best to make this course very, very practical, right? So I would express my thanks to you all that you have taken it seriously and you have joined in numbers. And I see from with these kinds of scores coming in near future, I see a good scope will be there for Indian people to get into industry. If industry see these kind of people who are trained in calibration, trained in installation, commissioning, putting the robot to use, industrial robot to use, I see a bright future for you all, right? So that is the reason this course was there. Yes, any other query I would expect? So if not any other query is there, I think I can end here. So I would appreciate if you put nice feedback for this course with your valuable suggestions and comments. Try to watch these videos. These videos are live forever, right? So you can refer them anytime you feel like. Feel free to communicate with me. I am at IIT ISM Dhanbad as a faculty in mechanical engineering. You can connect to me anytime through emails, right? And I'll be happy to answer you. I have my TAs who are there also to sort your practical things also, right? So my best wishes for your end exam. Okay, thanks a lot. So that's all. Thanks a lot. So I'm ending it here. Wish to
Sir,
see
you
you
have,
all.
you have sir, you have one question from Saurabh.
Yes, I think I have answered him regarding recommendation of book for robot programming and artificial intelligence and this in robotics, in agriculture robot. Yes.
Okay, sir. Thank you, sir.
Okay, then. Thanks a lot. See you. Bye bye. Take care of your exam and